Columbia Broadcasting System and its affiliated stations present Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the air in The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
Wow! I saw color TV, RCA Victor color TV. I know what I've been missing now. Wow! I saw color TV.
From the corner.
Ever want to watch two things that are on at the same time? Well, now you can, because Sony's revolutionary Betamax deck, which hooks up to any TV set, can actually videotape something off one channel while you're watching another channel. With Sony's Betamax, you won't miss a thing.
Marty, shh, you'll scare the fish. But we're missing the big football game.
Relax, my VHS home video recorder is taping it right now.
Terrific. Watch. Terrific. But suppose it's over 3 hours.
Relax, Panasonic VHS tapes up to 4 hours of sports, movies, specials on one cassette.
Wow.
Can you imagine seeing movies as close to the original cinema quality as possible at home?
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Then you're ready for Laserdisc. The latest in home entertainment is the PAL Laserdisc player, a machine which plays both feature-length movies and compact music discs.
Everything you know about DVD just got a whole lot better. Welcome to HD DVD. Spectacular high-definition picture, lossless sound, and an entirely new level of interactivity than you've ever experienced before.
If you've been thinking about replacing your DVD player and stepping up to Blu-ray, then now is the time.
Hello and welcome everyone to another Comic Movie Marks video.
Competition breeds innovation.
Xbox versus PlayStation.
WWF versus WCW.
Enzyte versus Viagra.
And now, the new battle for entertainment, streaming versus the theaters.
Warner Brothers sets entire 2021 movie slate to debut on HBO Max along with cinemas.
So Warner Brothers and HBO Max drop a huge bomb on the entire industry.
Something that we all believed that was inevitable. This was the future. Streaming was going to be the future. Netflix proved that a long time ago. Things pertaining to the world and life have now sped up that process. We're looking at something that is going to change the business and change the way we look at box office forever. Box office is no longer going to be the same thing. And it's kind of funny to see how this process works out. But at first, we're gonna need to do a little flashback.
This show ain't no good.
AMC and Universal went head-to-head, essentially in the wake of the success of Trolls World Tour, racking up an estimated $100 million in premium video on-demand rentals in the first 3 weeks in North America. The results for Trolls World Tour have exceeded our expectations and demonstrated the viability of premium video on demand. As soon as theaters reopen, we expect to release movies on both formats.
So we had a video on this back in April talking about it that nobody watched. Talked about this was possibly that breaking point. This kind of showed that video on demand is a viable source for revenue when it comes to new releases. Fast forward to November of this year. Wonder Woman 1984. After several pushbacks on its release date, Wonder Woman 1984 will be released on December 25th on HBO Max and in theaters simultaneously. This is very key to the future of the streaming platform and theater. Originally, we were planning to do this video much sooner, but things kept progressing and we kept seeing things change. And originally, I thought that this type of announcement for Warner Brothers was going to come right after Wonder Woman, just proving that Warner Brothers isn't going to rely on government and the movie theaters allowing them to distribute their movies. They are going to do what they need to do to stay viable in this market. So while this is a huge change to the movie industry, I think a lot of people have been seeing this coming down the road for quite a while. Again, like I said earlier, things just sped it up. And it's still funny to see some of the usual movers and shakers in the industry still trying to act like they're in the know. Like they still understand what's going on. And it's kind of funny to see how people are struggling with this concept. People still talking about Wonder Woman's box office. Like Wonder Woman's box office matters anymore. Box office is no longer going to be the same. History has shown us a lot. When you start doing this, when you start shifting to a streaming platform, your buy rates, your box office is never going to look the same. Box office, it's not going to be about whether or not a movie can break 100 million over its opening weekend. And there's a lot of people that cling to that past, to cling to the old, to prove that they're still relevant and they're in the know-how when those numbers aren't going to matter anymore.
Exactly. Don't be like Blockbuster and get stuck in the past, because the entertainment industry will leave you behind. Pay-per-views at one point were the biggest revenue generator for the WWE, but since 2014, when they decided to phase out the pay-per-view companies through cable and with the introduction of the WWE Network, buy rates have never been the same.
Which is very telling, because their last one was a pay-per-view in February of 2014, had 203,000 buys. They have taken out the middleman, and now any revenue that they generate based off subscriptions on their network goes directly to them. And that's what HBO and Warner Brothers, and specifically AT&T, are looking at. Disney Plus has put their toe a little bit in the water when it came with Mulan, but they also charged a premium. The difference here with HBO Max is they are not charging at this point. They've decided not to charge a premium for any of these releases.
And now Disney is copying off of Warner Brothers' homework, and Mulan is available to watch on Disney Plus at no extra charge.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
But this is what HBO Max and mainly AT&T are looking at for 2021. This is how they're going to secure your subscription. But for $14.99 or possibly $11.99 if you can catch them on a promo day, you will be getting in 2021 Godzilla vs. Kong, Dune, Matrix 4, The Suicide Squad, and the Coup de Grace, Space Jam 2.
Ha ha, very funny, motherfucker.
Well, Shane, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Matt, but do you think the Snyder Cut will come out sooner?
Well, yeah, that is what I was pondering. Something that's very possible with this huge slate of movies dropping on HBO Max this year. Now it seems like there might be different developments with Zack Snyder's Justice League. Could it now be just dropped as just a movie and no longer a series? The need for it to be episodic isn't exactly there anymore when you have almost 17 movies dropping on your streaming service. And there's a possibility it might drop even sooner than we thought. A lot of us have come to the conclusion that it would be March, but could it drop even sooner than that? HBO Max is truly stepping up the game for 2021.
And also, I'm excited to watch the Snyder Cut, because Joss Whedon sucks.
And while there is many people out there that feel like they're in the know-how that this was never going to happen, people saying there's a 0% chance that the Suicide Squad would be released on HBO Max, that you would be living in a fantasy world if you actually believe that. Then there's some like Scott Mendelson of Forbes. When somebody brings up a thing, maybe Hollywood shouldn't have made movies that make $500 million to break even, Scott Mendelson says maybe folks should actually show up at a theater to see the regular offering of a non-tentpole movies the studios release nationwide every single weekend. The biggest Disney shill in the game, promoting non-tentpole movies.
Tom, if irony were made of strawberries, we'd all be drinking a lot of smoothies right now.
Variety then dropped an article on December 3rd titled "Theater Stocks Plunge After Warner Brothers Sends 2021 Films to HBO Max." The glorious Movie Bob then replies to a tweet saying, "This is a disaster. We were so close to avoiding this, and they aren't even doing it for the slate itself." He adds, "For fuck's sake, no one was going to see fucking Dune, and you know it. They're doing it to salvage their dog shit streaming numbers."
You could shut the fuck up.
Movie Bob talking about Disney Plus releasing Mulan. He says, "Oh, shut up. If you've got Disney Plus already, you're eventually going to give them $30 to watch Mulan or watch it with someone. So you can either enjoy or complain about it with everyone else. We've all watched each other not storming Trump Tower for 4 years. No one's fighting Mickey."
What the fuck?
And this is some of the things we're talking about. These people are going to be unable to adapt to what is coming down the road. And some people are so naive to think that this is only going to be just for 2021. It will all go back to normal. It'll all snap back in place right after 2021, after the second biggest studio decides to drop their entire film slate on their premier streaming service. They think it's all just going to go back to normal. We'll see what Movie Bob and Scott Mendelson, what their reaction is to Disney doing something similar, because you know it's inevitable. They will definitely be doing it. This decision has also ruffled some feathers of other individuals too, especially people that are involved in these movies that are going to be dropped on this. Warner Brothers also found out a way to piss off an entire studio. Some people involved with these movies said, holy shit. One texted his equally flabbergasted agent, this is ridiculous that they wouldn't even make one phone call. Another said in a message to an executive at a rival studio, they didn't even try to reach out, and they just assumed that we would all go along with this. Another aspect of this is that Legendary Studios is gonna possibly try to find some legal action to stop WB from putting movies like Kong vs. Godzilla and Dune on HBO Max. It was stated that they were only given 30 minutes notice before Warner Media made their decision to launch these movies on HBO Max in 2021. And now even Christopher Nolan is coming out saying that this was a terrible decision. They're only doing this to inflate numbers for their worst streaming service, which turns out to be very accurate. HBO Max's numbers have jumped up substantially this quarter compared to every other streaming service out there. Not only are they expanding into Roku and Fire Stick, now with this huge drop, you're gonna see a huge bounce in the numbers.
Exactly. This is the future. The question becomes, what happens to theaters? The stocks are plunging, as we discussed. AMC, again, up against Warner Brothers now.
Again, these are people looking back at box office. Box office tells you everything. Box office is all your profit. Box office is split up amongst many factors. There's no splitting it. You have eliminated the middleman.
Now, this is something that Netflix has obviously noticed that WWE knew was going to be the future, and the theaters can either be like cable companies where they get stuck in the past and hope that people will continue to buy pay-per-views on their cable service. They can look to the future and start adapting, and maybe having where a theater is not just a theater anymore. In October, AMC and Cinemark announced that they would be offering theater rentals for $99. So they are getting a little bit more creative in terms of how they bring in people. Theater in Oklahoma that has announced that they are now offering gaming nights. Solar Cinema says, we've recently had a family rent out one of our theaters for a family gaming night where they have played Mario Kart and Call of Duty on the big screen. Again, adapting.
Hell yeah, Centipede on a 40-foot screen, I'm there.
Sit the fuck down.
We'll end this episode with this tweet from Daniel Alter. Movie theaters will still be around. They will be premium venues to experience the content. Multiplexes, the amount of movies that get screened in theaters and the box office as we knew it, all forever changed.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
All right, guys, that will end our episode talking about the future of cinema. What will be next? Hopefully they bring back Laserdisc.
That is the future. As always, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this wonderful video. Click that bell for all the notifications. We also do have a Patreon if you want to support us. We have a beautiful website. The link is in the description below. Pick up some merch just in time for Christmas. You know that's what the kids are asking for. And we have a YouTube membership program that you can jump on, support us, like us, love us as well.
In case I don't see you.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.